we are going to dive into a 2022-23 Yahoo Fantasy Basketball live draft here coming up next on Beat the Odds Card Breaks. Don't go anywhere. Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. We are going to see if we can draft a really good team here on our Yahoo Fantasy Basketball League. We are doing a snake draft. This is for head-to-head. I'll show you guys kind of where we're at here. We're going to be picking 9th in this draft here. So usually what I like to do is kind of do a little bit of prep. We're kind of jumping in right at the start of the draft, so we're not going to have a whole lot of time to do this, but good things to use, and I've got the tool kind of queued up here. I'll show it to you here real quick. We've got depth charts, courtesy of our good friends at ESPN, where it's going to list kind of all the teams and their projected lineups and stuff to this point. And it has been updated. You'll see Dennis Schroeder there as SG1 for the Lakers. So that's a great resource to use when you're doing drafts. It gives you kind of a leg up as to who is going to have what share of the minutes. So you're obviously looking to try and fill your squad here with as many players as you can that are going to suit the categories that you're going for here. Now this is head-to-head, so a couple of things that I like to mention with regards to head-to-head. I focus in on trying to get the best available player early in the draft, so I won't necessarily look to try and fill positions yet. I'm very happy carrying 2 small forwards, for example, with the first 2 picks. You know, provided they do, you know, they're big enough players there for me. I would lean towards the best player available early on in the draft. Once we get towards the middle and end of the draft, then we could look at filling the holes and the statistics that we want to fill out to mold our team. But early on there, we're going to concentrate on trying to get the best team possible. And the draft has begun. So with pick number 9, that's going to put me down in the Giannis Luka spot here. I actually don't mind picking this late in the first round because, I mean, honestly, you can build a team around the vast majority of players in the top 10 and feel pretty comfortable doing so. So we'll see which player kind of falls to me. I'm good with taking either. They both are going to fill the stat sheet, and they both are a liability, of course, on free throw shooting. There goes Giannis, so I won't be able to pick him up here. And there goes Luka. So I'm going to be left with either Karl Anthony Towns or Jason Tatum. I'm actually kind of hoping for Tatum here, and that's who we're going to get here. So for our first pick, we're going to go Jason Tatum. One other thing that I like to try to target, especially early on in the draft, or relatively early on in the draft, is younger players with a high upside. So Jason Tatum kind of fits the bill for me. I don't think we've quite seen his peak yet. Yahoo has his projected totals this year higher than last year's, which I think is a good sign. Okay, so for the second choice, for our second pick, there's a couple of really interesting players out here to choose. I'm liking Tyrese Halliburton from a sheer usage standpoint. I think he is going to command the majority of the ball there, and I think he's a really smart player. So I have a feeling that he's going to give you some pretty solid stats across the board, and he's certainly going to help in those percentages there as well. And he's going to be a good source of assists, 3-point shooting, and steals. So if he happens to be available when I pick, that might be the choice that I go with here. I'm not too hot on DeJounte Murray here. He's a similar profile to Tyrese. I think he's an edge in the defensive stats. But I'm not quite sure how he's going to end up fitting alongside Trae Young. So I'm going to go with the obvious number 1 in Indiana, that being Tyrese. And he's going to join the squad as well. One thing that I traditionally will like to do here is to queue up some players. This is more preparation for the back end of the draft here. So I'll go looking for players usually for basketball ranked ADP 50 or lower. So I'm scrolling down the list. I like Desmond Bane. I think Brandon Ingram, he's going to have an interesting season here. If Zion's healthy, Brandon Ingram slides into the number 3 option, or 2A option, I think, perhaps, behind CJ and Zion. But that team, if everybody's healthy, that team is going to be mighty scary. Josh Giddey, OG Anunoby, I like. Tyrese Maxey, I think we're going to see a large improvement for him. Paolo Banchero has basically got unlimited reign in that power forward spot there in Orlando. Jordan Poole's another one I see going to get some good playing time. Now, one thing of note there as well, since we're playing in a head-to-head format, the goal in head-to-head is really just to make the playoffs in a relatively solid position. And then once you get to the playoffs, have your entire team at full strength. So when you're looking through the list and I see Michael Porter Jr. injured, Jaren Jackson Jr. injured, Jamal Murray injured, I know these guys aren't going to be starting the year. In the case of Jaren Jackson Jr., he's due to come back later on, I believe, in like February, at least in the turn of the year in 2023. But if he has enough time to get his feet under him, he's going to be a steal in the draft if we can get him later on. So I'm always on the lookout for that kind of stuff. So I'll put these 3. I'll keep an eye on here as the draft goes. Tyler Hero, I think he's going to play some major minutes here in Miami. If you miss out on somebody that you were hoping to get here, don't fret. There's a good chance you'll be able to fill that spot with some good category stuffers later on. RJ Barrett, I think, is grossly underrated here. Oh, it's our turn to pick. Let's take a look to see what we have. See, now we've got Kawhi out here, and that's an interesting choice. Golly, I'm not quite sure if I want to pick up Kawhi here, but I have a feeling this is a little bit against what I would want to do. I'm not a big fan of picking up injured players this early in the draft, but at 33 overall, this is a very tempting pick. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait to see. Well, actually, there's going to be no. I'm basically having to pick now or never, because unfortunately behind me there's a couple auto pick teams, and usually they just fill the spots with the best players available. So if I don't pick Kawhi now, then he's not going to be around. So I think I'm going to pick up Kawhi now and just hope he plays enough minutes to really count. And there's a lot of really good options that I can choose with my next pick. Zach LaVine is another currently injured player that will benefit the squad here once he's healthy. But I think I'm starting to kind of curve towards picking up a player that I know is going to be able to give me a hand here with some rebounding stats. Like I'm short a center at this point, and actually the one that I was kind of aiming for, Evan Mobley, just got picked up. I'm tempted to pick up Scotty Barnes here just for the fact that he is the talk of Toronto, and of course Toronto being my team. There goes DeAndre Ayton. He was the one that I wanted to get. Now I've got Vucevic, which that's a difficult choice here for me, because he's, again, going to be the number 3 option on that team. Zach LaVine, once he's healthy, is going to slide in ahead of Vucevic here for scoring. Wow. And then Zion, which, I mean, I think I'm going to let somebody else take the chance on Zion. Yeah, this is a tricky one. Got Jared Allen down here as well, but he's going to be more of a a garbage rebounder and interior scorer. I think it's going to have to be Vucevic. As much as I don't really like him as a player here for the squad at this point, looking at the best available player, it's a toss-up between him and LaVine. Of course, LaVine just got picked up right after. All right, so we're up here with the 5th pick, and scanning the way I want to go here, I think my selection is going to be Josh Giddey. I don't mind him with this pick because, well, Chet Holmgren is going to be down for the year, so a lot of the usage that was going to be headed towards him, Josh Giddey's going to soak some of that up here. And of course, he's coming into year 2 where we would expect to see some progression on his year 1 numbers. He is across the board going to give you solid stats here, and he doesn't even play point guard. So I think this is a very good pickup for the squad. Now, as we start to look at the middle portion of this draft, we're going to try and target positions to be filled. So the last thing you want is to have to cycle in, say, another center to play in that's not, you know, starter worthy. So we're going to look to see if we can get the necessary players on our team to be able to fill all the spots there as best as we can. All right, with 2 picks left before we select here, we're in an interesting position. There's a couple ways that I can go with this. I still kind of feel the need to pick the best player available. And there's arguments that we can go with Tyrese Maxey here. We can go with Tobias Harris here, although Harris is a little empty on the defensive stats. Jakob Poeltl would be a good one to consider here as well. I think he, or Clint Capella, both of those I would say is pretty interchangeable. They're going to be low usage, high defenders, which would be a nice complement to Nikola Vucevic. Well, Maxey just got selected, so now it's my turn to select. I'm also really tempted to pick up Julius Randle here, but if I do that, then there's a good chance I will miss out on a bona fide center to help out the squad. So I think I feel good enough with my counting stats that I don't need Randle to help out, but I do need blocks and steals. So the question really is whether or not I want to pick up somebody who can toss in some extra assists with the turnovers, or just somebody who is just going to be a little bit on the safer bet here. I think I'm going to go Clint Capella here for the squad. Okay, so if we look at the looking at the next pick here, I see a Jamal Murray sitting out there who I think would have ample time to get himself ready for the second half of the year. I think this is a shoo-in for this pick here for pick number 7. I am for sure picking Jamal Murray in this spot. Okay, so coming up with my next pick here, one thing I do need to be careful of, and I know I said that I don't mind too much picking up injured players, but now we've got Kawhi, we have Jamal Murray, Jaren Jackson Jr. sitting up there, and he's tantalizing at this selection, especially for what he can do here with his block numbers. But I think I'd rather go with a sure deal here, and I'm leaning towards either RJ Barrett, who's going to be a big volume scorer with low percentages, or Colin Sexton, who could be a big volume scorer with higher percentages. I think I would go with Colin Sexton here. He is in a phenomenal position to put up some big numbers this year in Utah. All right, we're about ready to do pick number 9, and there's an interesting couple of options here. Jaren Jackson Jr. is still out there. Ben Simmons is out there as well. And the thing with Ben Simmons is he's not going to be a point guard this year. He's likely going to play the 4. So I can only imagine what type of flexibility he would have for your roster, which is a pretty big thing when it comes to basketball, to make sure that you be able to fit in the players at the positions that you want them to play, so that way you can get everybody rostered during your game days. So I'm going to have a little bit of a difficult decision to make here. I got 2 picks left. There's a good chance that one or both of these will be up there. If one of them comes off the board and one's left, then I'll take that other one for sure. I mean, they have some major holes with both of them. Jaren Jackson Jr., of course, is a very poor rebounder for his position, but he certainly makes up for it for 3 points made on blocks. You'll see now there's both there. I think. Oof. I think I'm going to go with Ben Simmons here. Because the reason why I want to pick up Ben Simmons here is he's basically, again, a potential walking triple-double. And I have a feeling he's going to get more steals and blocks if he plays the 4. If he gets his mind right. But this is a pretty safe risk to take this late. And then we're going to hope to see if Jaren Jackson Jr. returns back to me on the next pick. If he does, then he will join the squad there as well. And then I'm gonna really need to work the waiver wire to make sure that I'll have a team that's worthy to field here at the start of the season. Because once these guys get healthy, I'm gonna have a killer team at the end. All right. I think we're gonna choose Harrison Barnes with this pick. You could also go Gordon Hayward, I suppose. But I think Barnes is going to be the smarter pick here. Now, I'm not too concerned about not having power forward because, again, as mentioned, Ben Simmons is going to be likely picking up that position here at some point during the season. So he will be able to cover that spot for the squad here as well. And now we're at the back half of the back third of the draft. We got 3 choices left here, and this is really just going to kind of fill out some of the stats that we may be missing here. My goal is always to be, to be available for the majority of the stats, because all you need to do is win. I think there's 9 counting stats in this league. Yeah, there's 9 counting stats in this league, so you just need to win 5 of them. So if you put yourself in a position where you will be able to contribute across the board with the majority of your squad, it's going to certainly help you out here with winning your weeks. So as I look here, most of the players that I've got are capable passers, minus a few. So we have assists racked up here pretty well. And we've got a lot of our guards that can rebound here too. Halliburton, Leonard, Giddey can rebound. Simmons will be able to rebound, of course, as well. So we're going to be fine with rebounding. Your defensive stats here, we're a little shy on that, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to try and target maybe another big that can block. So Nicholas Claxton comes to mind. He's likely going to get a bit of a expanded role this year in Brooklyn. And then 3-pointers, we've got Ben Simmons and Clint Capella, who just don't shoot 3-pointers. Giddey's not exactly a 3-point threat much either. But pretty much everybody else on that list here is, green light for that. So I think we're going to be okay on 3-pointers at this point here as well. All right, so we've got the next pick here. I'm targeting Nick Claxton just to see if we can get some more blocks on the team, as we're going to be a little shy of that here. Looking at the stats that we got to fill out here, so I think he's gonna do well for us for that. Again, low usage, so I'm not too worried about the free throw percentages. Not too worried about the assists so much. He's not going to really contribute there, but he's going to be a good source of rebounding and blocks. And he might average, 10, 12 points a game. We shall see how it plays out here with the team. And it's our selection now. We're going to select Nicholas Claxton. We've got 3 bona fide pure centers on the team here. We are now going to need to see if we can fill out 2 more positions. I'm looking likely for another forward and possibly another point guard available position, although it looks like we're pretty good there. We got 2 true point guards on the team in Jamal Murray and Tyrese Halliburton. But we could always look at possibly filling another one. So Jalen Suggs is a good one for me to target at this point. While he's more of a shooting guard. And they're pretty guard heavy in Orlando, but he's not a bad one to consider. We're up next here for our pick. Looking at what's available here, I see Jordan Clarkson. That's going to be another interesting usage spot. Clarkson, as it stands, is currently in a Utah jersey. There's discussion of him being moved before the season starts. In which case, if he does get moved, I would feel that his value is going to decrease while he just got picked up. So he's no longer on our radar. Let's take a peek to see what we've got left here. Jaden Ivey's an interesting pickup because he's going to be starting alongside Cade. Jalen Suggs also an interesting pickup. This one's a little tough. I think I'm going to go with Suggs here. He's got to improve on his shooting percentages from last year, which, I mean, that's pretty much rock bottom for what you can do. You know, a 36% field goal, that's not him. I'm sure he's going to be able to rebound off of that here this year. All right, so we are up for our last pick here, and we are a little guard heavy. I would love to pick up Jaden Ivey here, but we've got a little bit too many guards. Chris Boucher. I mean, I'm a Raptors guy. Chris Boucher, for those who may not know who he is, he could certainly win a week there for you if he gets 25 minutes of playing time, but he's behind quite a few players on that roster here. But he's an interesting pick. And of course, it's my last pick here, and I need to fill a forward spot. So we're going to go ahead and pick up Chris Boucher for the hometown Toronto Raptors, and just hope that he actually is a 7th guy or an 8th guy. Let's just hope Chris Boucher gets some solid playing time this year, and if he does, I think this is going to be a safe pick at pick number 13. All right, so we have entered the draft complete screen. So here you can kind of see your team and how it shapes up here. So I usually will go to team, and what I like to do is actually put in the 21-22 average stats. I know this doesn't really apply to everybody here. Of course, we'll click on our team, Beat the Odds, and we'll take a look through here to see kind of where we landed with regards to our players. Yeah, so as I go through the list, let's start with 3 points made. Ideally, I like to have 5 guys with at least 2 3-pointers made per game. And as it stands, we've got 2 bona fides, so that would be Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum. We've got Harrison Barnes at 1.8, who's close. I'm guessing Kawhi will get there with 2 per game. Actually, if I go to 22-23 completed projected stats here, he's got 135, so he's about 1.5 there guessing per game. Jamal Murray will likely be at that range there as well. He's sitting at 150 projected stats, 3-pointers made for the year. So there's a good chance that he'll get there as well. So we'll have for sure 4 or 3 bona fide 3-point made, possibly 4, maybe 5. So that should do us well here. Colin Sexton's another one where I think he should see an uptick, of course, in usage. So there's a good chance that he's going to be hitting more than 1 3-pointer per game. Over to points, again, we want to see if we can get 5 20-point players or more. And as I look through the list, Jason Tatum, of course, is the only one there that is over 20 points. Kawhi should get there pretty easily. Jamal Murray, probably not. Colin Sexton, I think 16 points per game is going to be low. I would put him closer to the 21-22 range for this year. Of course, I might eat my words here. We'll see how the season goes. Yeah, Tyrese, I think that 15 points per game is a little low. I think he's going to be at least option B, like the second option on that team here for scoring. So I would say his point total will be closer to 20. And Vucevic, I think I don't know if he's going to hold up 17 points a game. I wasn't super happy with the Vucevic pickup. I really only picked him up because we needed to fill the center spot here with somebody that's going to be getting minutes, and he fits the bill for that. Rebounding, same idea. I'd like to have five players with at least 8 rebounds per game, and I think we're going to be able to do that here. Kawhi's going to rebound well for us. He's not going to get 8. He's probably going to get closer to 5 or 6. Josh Giddey is, he got 8 last year, so he might be there. Jason Tatum is going to be in that range there. Vucevic, of course, Clint Capella, Nicholas Claxton. I think he might get close to 8 per game here. Ben Simmons, once he logs some minutes here, he could be over 8 a game, so I think we've done well for rebounds. Assists, looking for 5 a game here. Tyrese at 8 should be a lock. Kawhi could get there. Josh Giddey should get there. Tatum could get there. We'll see how he fits in the system there in Boston. Jamal Murray should get there. Ben Simmons could get there. Jalen Suggs should get there. There's some pretty comfortable floor here for us for assists. I think we will be fine in that category. Steals, I like to see 1 per game out of 5 of our guys. So again, Tyrese will get there. Kawhi, if he's healthy, he's a former defensive player of the year, so that's his specialty. I'm sure he'll find his way there as well. They don't call him the Claw for nothing. Josh Giddey could get there. Jason Tatum again could get there. Vucevic, I don't know if he's going to repeat that from last year. Sexton could get there. Jalen Suggs, he's young. Ben Simmons should get there. Jamal Murray might get there as well. It's going to be pretty comfortable there with the steals category. Blocks, I want to see if I can get 5 guys again with 1 block a game. Vucevic, I don't know if he's going to repeat that from last year here. I think he's going to be below 1, but Clint Capella is going to do fine. Nicholas Claxton, I would imagine, is going to have a bigger role this year, so he should be able to get 1 per game. Ben Simmons, you might be 0.6 or 0.7 a game. Kawhi probably around the same mark. Chris Boucher, I don't know how long he's going to stay on the team here, but he might be able to pick up a block a game here as well next year. So all in all, I think we did pretty well. It'll be interesting to see if we can get Kawhi, Jamal Murray, and Ben Simmons to show us some second half magic here that will certainly help out the squad. But to wrap up here, I think we did pretty well with the team. We got some young guys that are set to improve on our squad here. We've got some guys in great positions here. New scenery like Colin Sexton. We've got Jamal Murray, Ben Simmons, and Kawhi Leonard, who is scheduled to hit the floor this year at some point. Who should be immediate impact there for their team. So I think all in all, we've drafted quite well. If everybody stays healthy, which is really the caveat for anything here with regards to fantasy sports, if everybody stays healthy, this team is going to do well here in this league. And furthermore, I guess with the fact that we do have some injured players to start off the year, we can always go to the waiver wire to find some guys. They're not obviously going to be direct replacements because it just doesn't work that way. But if you keep track of the waiver wire and you keep track of the minutes that certain players are getting, you can pick up on trends relatively easily and then use those trends to grab players that can fit your needs there at the early onset of the season. And hopefully hold it together for you to be able to make the playoffs and then dominate when you get to the playoffs. But that's going to do it here for this draft. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoy this type of content, please subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button there for me. Leave a comment as to how you thought the draft went, if there are players that I should have targeted here that I didn't get, or if you think I may have reached for some of the players that I did get. I'd love to hear your take. Just comment down below with your thoughts. But that's going to be it for this one here. Thank you guys for watching. We are going to sign off for now, but we're going to catch you guys on our next episode.